What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back for another review of Zatima. This is Season 2, Episode 16, and the episode is titled A Gamble at Love. So, we start this episode off with Bryce. He is still trying to make this deal happen, and he asks Zach if he can put in another $500,000. Zach tells him that he only has 1.5, and he ain't putting nothing else in, okay? So now Bryce is like, oh, I know that you have the money, but you don't want to do this deal because you don't want to work with me because I tried to kiss you, all of this stuff. And I'm just like, no, I really don't think that Zach has the money to invest in this property. And the fact that you are willing to rob Peter to pay Paul so that way you can invest in it is crazy to me. Sir, you don't have the funds either. So how about y'all go look at a property that y'all can actually invest in and go chill out somewhere? Like, Bryce is starting to get on my nerves because you're the one who keeps nagging and dragging Zach around talking about you gotta come see this property, man. You gotta come see this property, man. And he already told you that he can't afford it. So why are we playing around? Like, I'm annoyed. So Zach, he ends up telling him, like, listen, I'm going to tell Valerie we don't have the money for the project, right? He calls Valerie over. He lets her know, we just don't have the funds. And Zach ends up spotting Paul. So Zach is like, oh yeah, like, I know this guy or whatever. So Paul, he explains how, he's been hanging out with Zatima. And come to find out, Valerie and Paul are actually divorced. However, she still calls him honey. I'm like, girl, that's weird, okay? Now, Paul, he wants to talk to Zach. And I'm just like, why? Why do you need to talk to Zach? Y'all know what that reminds me of? Aaron. I said, why are we making Paul Aaron 2.0? Tyler, I need for you to give these men different personality traits, please. So, nonetheless, Paul, he basically feels like, he can give Zach some good advice. And he tells Zach that, Zatima, she wants to see your heart and she wants to see you vulnerable and all of this stuff. But at this point, I cannot take this man seriously. I really cannot. Because Paul is a lame. I've realized he's definitely Aaron 2.0. And I want him off the show immediately. Because where I thought we were going with his character is not where we went at all. So next thing you know, we see Zatima. She's meeting with this man named Casey, and it seemed like he must be like some type of detective or something, because she basically put him on the case to surveillance Deja. She wants to make sure that this case goes nowhere because Deja is still out here, twerking on a pole. So she wants this man to, gather her information for her, and that'll be that. So Casey tells her, like, oh, you're going to make such a great attorney. And Zatima, she's like, yeah, but I need to get back into classes. I wish that you would. I wish that you would, take the time to put yourself first and stop worrying about Zach and his baby mama drama and his mama drama and anything else he got going on, and focus on yourself. Like, I feel like that would be a very interesting storyline of Zatima, going back to school. That would be more interesting to me than her whining and crying about Zach every 5 seconds. But I feel like that's not what we're ever going to get, unfortunately. So, next thing you know, y'all, we gotta jump back to Zach. He goes to the lame barber shop with his goofy friends being there. And Nate wants to know if they're on good terms. And Zach tells him, yeah, but I wish he would have said no. Because Nate, he's the worst type of friend you could ever have. So at this point, Zach is there. He's trying to get his hair cut. And they're like, oh, why you getting your hair cut? Oh, you going out with somebody? And he tells them, yeah, but he didn't say who he was going out with. So now Nate, he's so nosy. He's like, oh, who you going out with? Who you going out with? And because Zach didn't tell him, he decided to be a tattletale and tell the barber how Zach is still in therapy. Y'all, that was hella weird to me. I'm like, nigga, you're a weirdo. Because why are you out here snitching that this man is in therapy? Also, Zach has been to one session. Why are we acting like this man has had at least 10 sessions under his belt when he really hasn't. It is really aggravating me. Nonetheless, Angela, she goes to see Fatima to show her that, the profile was taken down, and she lets her know that it was Belinda who did it. So Fatima says that Belinda is dead to her, and I don't blame her. Here's the thing. I feel like Fatima really felt like Belinda was her friend. However, once Zach was brought into the picture, Belinda completely switched up on her. And that's crazy because it's not like her and Zach really had any history for her to act like this. She literally slept with that man one time, and that was it. So I'm just like, girl, why do you have so much envy and vitriol for their relationship? It's very strange. So basically, Fatima tells Angela that she's going to go have dinner with her parents, and Zach will be there. So, of course, when everything's over, Angela wants all the details. Now, let's just go on to the parents' house, y'all. Because Fatima gets there, and her mom has cooked all her favorite, dishes, and Zach shows up. Now, Fatima, she has made it clear to him, listen, this was my parents' idea. I had nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? This was not my idea. So when they go sit down or whatever, the parents decide that they want to tell them their love story and all their ups and downs. Baby, we learned that Fatima's mom had one foot in the door and one foot out the door. She cheated on the stepdad, and once they cheated, they called off their engagement, and he was out here being a hoe. So in the midst of all of his wholeness, they found their way back to each other, and they decided to make it work. Like, honestly, y'all, were we supposed to be inspired by this? Were we supposed to feel like, oh my gosh, this couple, they've been through so much and they made it work so we can make it work? Was that how we were supposed to feel? Because that's not what it was really given. Because honestly, to me, it seemed like her mama don't even like this man, but she's just tolerating him because she had to settle for him. You know what I'm saying? He probably had a good job. He was willing to take care of her and her child. You know what I'm saying? And she settled. That's the energy that is given. But I'm going to let them rock out with their little love story, right? So here comes the dad, right? He out here asking 21 questions as if he's 50 Cent and Nate Dogg. Sir, chill out. But nonetheless, Fatima is like, listen, I've done a lot in this relationship. And the dad had the audacity to question, okay, you may have done a lot, but did you do all that you can do? I said, sir, see, this is the type of rhetoric that I don't really like, because it gives black women this idea that you have to tolerate years and years of BS from a person until that person gets it right. So you have to just continue to keep forgiving them. Listen, Fatima needs to go ahead and walk away. That's how I feel. Because Zach has not done the work just yet. And then you have Zach over here professing his love for Fatima. And I'm just still like, again, you have not done the work. You have done the bare minimum. All you've been doing is begging and pleading for her to come back to you. Like, am I the only one who feels this way? Nonetheless, you have the dad talking about some, you guys have to have the effort to make it work. And they both are like, yeah, we can make it work. I'm just like, really? This is too soon for this to be happening. I'm sorry. So the mom apologizes for misjudging Zach. And I'm just like, but did you though? Like, was she wrong for looking him up and, judging him, saying he's just like her dad? I mean, he's just like Fatima's dad and all that. Yeah, but let's not act like she was completely wrong about Zach. Like, Zach got a whole lot of flaws, okay? But nonetheless, they end up, leaving the parents' house. And as they're walking out, Zach, he basically is telling Fatima, like, oh, I want you to come home or whatever. And she's like, no, it won't be that easy for, us to jump right back into our relationship and jump back right back into the norm. And she tells him that, he can keep trying. Oh, Zach, he wants to rush this process. He out here talking about some, oh, I'm going to leave the door open for you and all of this stuff. And she's like, yeah, well, you might not want to do that because someone will probably rob you. Like, why do you keep yelling out that you're going to leave the door open? So he over here talking about some, I'm promising that I'm not going to cheat on you. Sir, here's my issue. You have more than one issue, okay? Cheating is only one of your issues, okay? Your mama drama, that was another issue. You bringing your baby mamas to her doorstep multiple times, that's another issue. Zach, you have a lot of issues, okay? When it comes to your relationship with Fatima. And the majority of it is things that you need to handle on your own. However, you keep passing it off to her. So he continues to hound her about how he wants her to come to his house or whatever. And Fatima actually stood her ground on this, saying that she ain't coming, okay? And I can respect her for that, because what I really want is for Fatima to focus on herself, get back in school, you know what I'm saying? And just start taking care of herself. But we already know that at some point Tyler is going to rush them back to be together. And it's only been like a week. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like they only broke up. It's been like, 2 days now? Yeah, I think it's only been maybe 2-3 days maybe at this point. I feel like Tyler's going to give them a whole week. And then they're going to be back together. And as if nothing, went wrong. But nonetheless, he decides he's going to go ahead and ignore Connie's call because she called him and he ignored it. I said, okay, I guess this is progress. And let's just go ahead and wrap this up. So Angela and Fatima, they talk about how the dinner went and how Zach wants her back. So she wants Zach to learn a lesson or whatever. And Angela's like, well, I think that he's learned the lesson. Angela, no, he hasn't. He has not learned the lesson because he, again, still has these internal issues. And until Zach gets those things handled, he cannot be the right type of man for Fatima. And I feel like we're not addressing that. We're just like skipping over it at this point. So Angela, honestly, is just trying to get Fatima up out of her house because she's ready to be able to do whatever she wants to do in her own home. AKA, she wants to bring a man over there, which is what's going to be happening tonight. So she basically tells Fatima, like, well, I got somebody coming through. And at first, Fatima thought it was going to be Bryce. And she's like, girl, no. Sam is coming over. I said, okay. We might, see more of Angela and Sam. I actually want to see that. That may be interesting. Like, I want to see Angela in a relationship, y'all. I really do. Because that whole thing with Bryce, that was complete BS. Nonetheless, we jump back over to Zach. He goes home and Connie is at his house. I'm like, well, Connie, why are you here? She tells him that, it's something going on with his mom. And next thing you know, they get in the car. Honestly, you want to know how I felt when she said it was something about his mom? F his mom and F you too, Connie. You can go home. You really can. But we're going to see what's going on next week. Y'all, let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.